What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and yeah, let's get straight into things. So hopefully you watched yesterday's video where I outlined my expectations, and you can see our price delivered pretty much to the T in terms of wanting to see price deliver to the downside and looking for a trade down towards this fair value gap. Now, how did we know about this? Well, if you watch yesterday's video, you'll know I brought our attention to Tuesday's wick, and I was saying so long as price stays below that 50% level and ideally 25% level, then I'm happy to expect price to trade on lower and start looking for that fair value gap. Now, we haven't quite traded fully into that fair value gap yet, but nonetheless, I am still expecting a continuation down in towards this. However, it is Wednesday and it is non-farm payroll week. Now, ICT has stated before that he believes that all your trading should be done by Wednesday before the all your trading on non-farm payroll week should be done by Wednesday. So I'm pretty much out, but in terms of moving into Thursday and Friday, that means low probability, and we just need to be a lot more cautious. Nonetheless, moving into tomorrow, I would like our ideal setup would be to have a Thursday reversal at this point, and that's because we wanted to see an up close week. So if you watch Sunday's video, you'll know I wanted an up close week, meaning that the low being created would ideally be this massive move that we saw here on Wednesday and maybe on Thursday to offer us that reversal. And what does that mean for us? Well, it now means that I want to see if this fair value gap can hold its price, as in I'm happy for price to trade in it, I'm happy for us to wick through it, but ideally I want to see us come out of it to start trading on higher again. That will help us frame and set up an up close week. Furthermore, we do have a inversion fair value gap right here. Why? Because you can see there's delivery on the downside and then the upside on a closing basis. So again, this should add as confluence as to why price shouldn't need to come back down into this discount, assuming we are going to have an up close week. So with that all taken into account, I do want to bring our attention to Tuesday's high because we may want to come back for that, especially on the back of non-farm payroll. But moving into Thursday, we also have high impact news. So with that in mind, I am looking for ideally some kind of Thursday reversal. Now, we do need to be very careful, as I said, because we're edging towards that non-farm payroll news release. But nonetheless, let's drop down to the 4-hour and take a closer look at price. So you can see beautiful displacement to the downside. We're just kind of consolidating above this fair value gap. Again, it's very likely we will fill this fair value gap. That's completely fine. We do have a bullish order block right here. So these 3 down close candles, 1, 2, 3, this all makes up a bullish order block. So let's get that marked out and call this 4-hour bullish order block. And we'll just put that to the right and center it like so. So ideally this will be sensitive to price, and we can use that for potential setups for longs, assuming we don't just trade through it. And like I said, I doubt that's going to happen. Although we have this large expansion, us looking for shorts at this point, especially this late in the week on non-farm payroll week, that would be us chasing price. So there's going to be a lot of retail that will see this move and are looking for shorts on dollar and longs on the pairs, thinking, okay, it's going to run on lower. But we need to take that into consideration and think about how the week is playing out in general. So that's why I'm being very cautious and why I'm sticking to my bias of wanting to see an up close week at the end of the week. Nonetheless, let's drop down to the 1 hour, take a closer look. And again, just kind of consolidating above that daily fair value gap and looking at price here, I wouldn't be surprised if we did want to run out these lows right here. So let's get that marked out as sell side liquidity, because I wouldn't be surprised if price wanted to go and grab that first. And then you can see that's hovering just above that 4-hour bullish order block. So again, I'm looking for sensitivity around here. If it doesn't act sensitively to price, then I'll simply step away. But ideally, I want to see a reaction away from that can help set us up. And then I'll be looking for that Tuesday high as a potential reach. So yeah, that's going to be everything on dollar. I hope that all makes sense. You can see I have got rid of my markings, and that's just because my charts were getting a little bit cluttered. But nonetheless, let's quickly get some daily dividers out for tomorrow. So Thursday and then Friday. I'll be looking for the low ideally to be made during London session. So between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. I'd like to think that we can continue falling lower, and then I want to see a setup form just before 8:30 that could potentially, before PMI, 10 a.m. I didn't even realize that can help set us up. But yeah, that's going to be everything on dollar. I hope that all makes sense. Let's now head on to GBP USD. So you can see there are some trades I did take on GBP USD. These trades I did pretty much call out in yesterday's video, so if you haven't watched that yet, go and check that out, because I was stating if we were to respect certain levels, I'll be looking for longs on pound to run out Tuesday and Monday's high. So I set my take profit just above Monday's high like so, and you can see that's where my trade closed. But nonetheless, let's go on. This was demo, by the way. This isn't my actual trade, which I took in MetaTrader. Nonetheless, let's go to the daily, and let me just get rid of a few things. So if we're expecting dollar to ideally, close higher, and we're looking for a reaction, that means tomorrow, although we've had this large down close candle, I would like to think that we can get an up close candle on Thursday. So with that taken into account, we would like to see if GBP can close lower. With that in mind, we can see now how we wicked higher up into the premium where we expected, and now we have this whole level, which is a rejection of block level. So look at how volume is wicking above this certain price level right here. Although we have wicked in it once, twice, 3 times now, price is continuously getting rejected away from this premium. So now I'm going to be looking at this large wick to do the same. And you guessed it, I'm going to be looking at the 50% level, and this will be the very highest I want price to trade tomorrow for me to remain bearish and with my bias on pounds. So let's get that marked out as consequent encroachment. And then in terms of discount PD arrays, I'll be looking for that Tuesday low, similarly to how I'm looking for that Tuesday high. And then this daily fair value gap still remains very much relevant for my draw and liquidity on pound. And then we also have this inversion fair value gap between this low and this high, 50% level. Again, look at how volume's respecting it. So this is all confluence, guys, and adding to our reasoning as to why I'm looking for price to ideally trade on lower towards that. So let's now head on to the 4 hour. And you can see again that large wick. And again, I'm looking for some kind of rally before. If we're expecting a down close day, I want to see us rally during London, potentially take out this high that we've just created here, and then create the low. So I'm happy for London session to rally right up into this 50% level, this consequent encroachment. But then from there, I'll be looking for potential shorting opportunities to run us into our south side target. Here's a bearish order block we've also traded into, and look at how price reacted off of it. Absolutely beautifully. So again, this is all confluence and adding to our bearish bias. If we go to the 1 hour, you can see we're just kind of hanging around. But again, London, I'm looking for rallying. I'm actively looking for some kind of rallying so that I can look for shorting opportunities to go on lower into our discount. And another thing to take note of is look at how we ran out Monday's high, just as we expected. But it's the fact that we've ran stops. So this is buy side liquidity up here. Look at how we grabbed stops and we're coming away from it. So and we know that price doesn't tend to just leave straight away. It will stab into it a couple times, which is why I'm happy for price to rally back above this buy side liquidity level moving into Thursday before turning around one last time. So because that will give us a nice failure swing ideally, but generally speaking, that's just what I'm looking at. And once we're in that premium, I'll be looking for shorts, assuming price is behaving and giving us that sensitivity to price that we want to continue seeing. So that's going to be everything on pound. Now let's head over to Euro USD. So here we are on Euro USD. Let's go to the daily, and you can see how Euro's traded nicely towards our target as well. We haven't quite traded into the fair value gap just yet, but that is still very relevant. Again, we may want to make the high in there moving into Thursday, but generally speaking, we want to see a down close day. So let's get rid of a few things just to clean it up. We have this daily breaker low, which is still relative to price because I'm looking to see if it can act sensitively. So I'm looking for more rallying on Euro, ideally in the early hours of Thursday before a 10 a.m. reversal, if we get that nice Thursday reversal that we're expecting. So let's now go to the 4 hour. Beautiful expansion to the upside. And again, although we have this expansion, us going long now would be us chasing price. We don't want to chase price, which is why I do believe this is just manipulation before price gets sent lower. And remember, our bias is to see a down close week, so we need and we're waiting on that reversal to then expand to the downside, right? Nonetheless, daily breaker low, so I'm looking for price to trade into that might happen in the morning, and then again fill that nice daily fair value gap before trading on lower. And that will be ideal because that could line up nicely with dollar filling its daily fair value gap and running into its 4 hour bullish order block. That could help send price to the upside. We will go to the 1 hour, take a quick look, and you can see our price create this high. Look at this high and look at this high. These are now relatively equal highs, so what's going to be above there? Buy side liquidity. So again, even more reason to why I want to see price rally, run out those stops, and then turn around to trade on lower, because it can grab the buy stops and then offset them in the discount, which is what we already have delineated right here. So pretty simple. Hope that all makes sense. Definitely go watch yesterday's video if you haven't already, and also watch a weekly review if you haven't already. But yeah, generally that's just my bias. Hope that all makes sense, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow before the evil non-farm payroll. Don't forget to join the Discord as well. I am active in there, although it's quite quiet recently. But that's going to be everything, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.